I won't name any names, but let's say it was a Q8 that went to another shop, and I think you remember what I'm talking about, Eman. But this Q8 sat at this shop for almost 3 or 4 months, and this certain individual that everybody seemed to have been looking out for.
Say the name.
We can blurt it out, right?
Oh yeah, you can. We don't want no beef.
No, I want no.
We don't want no beef.
Also.
Ready for this intro?
Ready.
We're here.
Okay.
It's a hell of an intro.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
I dig it.
Got AJ here, Greg, Jesus, and Eman. You guys probably recognize these guys. They're back. Hey, how's it going?
Yeah. I can't believe how many more locks there are in this building.
We'll cut that part out right on.
My bad. I'd like to apologize on camera for stealing half your shit, Greg.
I don't think it was mainly you.
I think we have a clip of that.
I think physically speaking, I moved the most amount of stuff. But morally, I was just doing my job.
Nah, you guys didn't take anything that wasn't yours except the Boost soda or whatever the hell those things are.
The what?
The Boost soda?
Ghost energy drink.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, I was tired.
You owe me an energy drink.
That's fine. I got some coffee if you want.
No. Why don't we let Eman and Jesus introduce themselves, talk about what they're doing now, let them plug whatever it is they're up to.
Segue.
And explain to people why they're on this podcast.
Yeah, cool.
You want to go first?
Of course, why not?
Do you?
Yeah, so has been a while. I don't think I've been in this building since last year, I'm pretty sure. It's been probably about a year or so. Life's a little different now. I started a training academy and doing a little bit of hands-on work in Tennessee. I live in Tennessee now, not living in Illinois anymore. But yeah, I've just been kind of dabbling in on that side of it. You know, you make a lot of connections kind of being on this end of the industry. Made a lot of promises to help people kind of nurture and grow their businesses. And, you know, once the job changed a little bit, it was kind of like, well, I still have all these people that need help. So I'm just kind of dialed in on that. That's kind of been my main thing. So I'm traveling a lot, doing a lot of hands-on trainings, a lot of business coaching, sales coaching. That's kind of the niche I'm trying to stay into right now. But yeah, that's kind of it for me, really. Yeah, I'm living in the Smoky Mountains. That's it.
What about personal life, like family? How's that going?
It's good. They're chill. Yeah, my kids are smart asses. That's been interesting. I get burned at least once a week by a 7-year-old. So that's been it's rewarding, man. They've been really good. They've been developing really well. They're growing really well. Been spending a lot more time with like my side of the family still in California, flying people out, flying out to them, that kind of thing. So it's been good, man. Just working out, trying to make some money, make the industry better, and hang out. You know, it's kind of it. What about you, E? What are you doing?
So I'm kind of like in between two things right now because, I mean, most people know that I was with Optical and then I left Optical probably like 5 months ago, and I've been doing my own thing since then. And I've kind of been in doing 3 different jobs. So I've been doing some side work for like my certain clients that I have. Like I do some of their PPF work, and then I've been doing like business consulting to like a bunch of the industry people that I've met. Mm-hmm. And then I've also been doing a lot of PPF training for other people in the industry, which has been it's been a lot of fun. And then so I'm kind of just in between 3 things, which is kind of funny, but a little stressful, but it's all right. And then I mean personally, like I'm just living good, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Figured out the golf swing.
Yep.
Huge news.
I play a lot of golf now.
Yeah.
I've been, Greg, how long have you known me? 10 years now? 12 years?
At least 10 years, yeah.
Big golfer guy now.
Wow. I never would have seen that in you. You know, it's funny. We went on a golfing event, or we went to Top Golf, and I think you and Rob and Andrew showed up in golf gear, but only as a lark. But you guys look good. Like, I think you went shopping right before the event, and I just assumed that it suited you. Like,
I always knew it was going to happen sooner rather than later.
Did you?
Just the persona.
It does. It just happens. It's like growing up, you play a lot of sports, and now that you're older, like you can't go play football. Or
It
I
hurts.
don't want to blow an ACL playing basketball, right? So I'm like what the next thing you do is you just end up playing golf. So that's literally what I did.
Dude, not
That's
even the
funny 'cause I
ACL
picked up
thing.
skateboarding again.
Did you? That sounds dangerous.
Like seriously trying to like get good again.
My knees could not.
Yeah, I played
Yeah, my knees
basketball
hurt.
No.
for a couple hours like a month ago for the first time, and like, I don't even know, bro. I woke up the next day with sore ankles. I didn't know that was a thing. I was just like, oh, I don't know if I can do this. Just stick to the weightlifting.
And stuff. Yeah, you've been exercising a lot, dude. That's fucking awesome. Trying to get into it myself, I just don't have the consistency.
That's a hard part, bro. And like, I can always make an excuse, which is the annoying part, right? Because it's like I gotta spend time with the kids, or I gotta spend time with my girl, or I gotta get back to Eman, or I told him I was gonna help him with something, or I got 16 other people I wanted to do something with, and it's like, if I die in 5 years from a heart attack, none of this matters. So like, that kind of has to be
It's
prioritized
important.
a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now you're not like as unhealthy as I was, so like, or I still am, I guess. But so like, I get why it's kind of not a huge priority. But I think you just learn to have fun with it, man. I tweak the little techniques, and I find little stuff that I like, and I find little challenges, and it's kind of how I make it fun, man. You know.
Yeah. Trajectory.
I'm the opposite. I treat it as like a 9 to 5, like it's a part of my 9 to 5 day.
I can see that. Yeah, because it makes you stay committed to it, right? Like you're an incredible, like worker and a responsible like employee and stuff. So yeah, that makes sense to me.
Yeah, just as a bit of background, everyone who is tuning in should know that we all work together at some point. So this is a little bit of a reunion, seeing how everyone's evolved. I'm particularly interested in Eman and Jesus, how you guys have evolved. Now, both of you have gone into the PPF arena. What do you guys see happening in like you're training right now? And I think a lot of people want to get in, a lot of detailers want to start doing paint protection film.
What's
Do
your
you
favorite
think
film?
we're at like the big, what's that?
No, I was just messing around. So, what's your favorite film?
I'll tell you what it's not.
We're going to talk about it. I'm kind of curious. You guys use a lot of different films. I'm curious what you think of the different ones, but I'm just kind of curious, first of all, like broadly, what are your thoughts on the industry? Like, is it peaking? Is it still on a massive upward trajectory? What do you see? Like, are there tons of shops out there that still need to learn how to do this and they're finding a lot of demand? Give us your take on the industry and where it's going.
Yeah, I don't think it's peaking. I wouldn't say it's peaking yet. I don't think we're even 10% of the way through, right? Because I remember coatings, call it even 7 or 8 years ago, kind of feeling like it was starting to get saturated. There's still people every day that text me asking me how to apply a coating. You know what I mean? And we're 10 years past the peak. You know what I mean? Or like that first part of it. Yeah, I don't think it's peaking at all. I think it's still growing a lot. I think if you are a car care shop and you want to be around in the next 10 years, you need to be in some sort of film. Window tint, vinyl, PPF, colored PPF. I think if the economy adjusts in any way towards a downtrend, which it seems like there's a lot of indicators for it, in most markets, the top stays and the bottom stays. So your high-end film stuff stays, and your low-end detailing stuff and window tint, as much as people don't like detailing, it is a revenue generator if you price it accordingly. Well, the stuff in the middle is the coatings. And I have a video of my 5-year-old at the time ceramic coating a car. Like, the barrier to entry has changed a lot. So I wouldn't, if I was building a shop today, I wouldn't focus as coatings being my main revenue generator. And one of the things I do with the businesses that I do sales and business consulting with, actually one of the first things we'll do is we'll pull up the numbers for the past 3 years, categorize everything by interior detailing, exterior detailing, window tint, PPF, and coatings. And then we just delete coating revenue, and they see if they can exist without it. And if they can't, then we start transitioning into making a big push for window tint, PPF, both in advertising, the content, the verbiage on the website, that kind of stuff. Yeah. What do you think?
Yeah,
Do you think
we
it's growing?
started Chicago Auto Pros as a detail shop. We didn't know what coatings were. We didn't have any plans for window tint. And I honestly don't think we'd ever be any bigger than like a little 2-bay shop with 3 or 4 guys.
Well, you were
If we were
wrong.
just-
You were very wrong. It's crazy.
Powerhouse.
Eman, what's your take on the industry, the PPF industry?
I mean, I think it kind of sucks.
Why'd you say that?
Because there's like, I see a lot. Like I feel like I see more than what other people see. Like, so like I see a lot of films now being made. That, like there's like 50 new films
Every
this
year. Every year.
and it's like everybody's just making a new film, so it's oversaturated with the films. There's a lot of people that are trying to get into PPF, but they're doing like very low quality work, and they're charging very low prices. So it's kind of making people like us, like you,
Boutique shops.
yeah, like it's over. It's a little oversaturated and people are not charging enough. And then honestly, like there's a lot of people trying to train people right now, and like they're not like they shouldn't even be training people. Like I don't know what you guys are doing.
Because that's the interesting thing too. I wanted to bring it up is like the amount of ads that I see down here in Houston of new shops popping up is crazy. And then the quality of work that I'll see like at the car meets. There's a big car meet that happens here in Houston, which is it's cars and coffee, but it's downtown. It's at this place called the Post, and it's like a supercar Sunday cars and coffee thing. Like all the craziest cars. There's a Pagani that shows up all the time, and some of the work that I see from some of the shops out there, it's I'm trying to be nice in the industry, like yeah, it's all right, but in the back of my head, I'm like, there's no way we would have let that come out of the shop.
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
Yeah, but you guys raised the standard so much. I don't know. So like just a little bit of background, right? Like I didn't meet you guys until 2022. So like I was just a fan from the outside in forever. You know what I mean? But like I don't think you guys realize how far ahead of the curve you were quality wise, especially in the film department specifically. Because like look, there's been good paint corrections for 50 years, right? People have been buffing cars forever. There's been really, really great ones the past like 10 to 15 years with like the modern paint systems. But I don't know if you guys realize how far ahead of the curve Chicago Auto Pros was quality-wise, and might still be, honestly. You know what I mean? Like, going back to that grading scale that we made, which actually I'll share with you, you guys were doing A and S tier work, and people were doing, like, D tier work. So even now that the industry's maybe moved at an average from D tier work to C tier work, you're still just miles ahead of not everybody, but most shops,
That's kind of the challenge, like marketing that difference, because people get so anchored on price when it's a high ticket item like that, and trying to explain the difference in layman's terms, because we all know wrapped edges, like in this call, we all know like the difference between S tier and C tier. Sure. But most customers coming in for the first time have absolutely no clue. Like, is there anything you guys have figured out, like ways to describe it to consumers, like verbiage, copy?
You got anything? I got a couple things
I know you got a couple things.
I got things that I say consistently too.
Yeah, I'd love to hear you guys' input on that.
Let's start with you, Jesus, because you're the guest, but then we'll talk about what we're doing.
Yeah, I think a lot of people miss, at least salespeople in car care shops, miss on explaining the process, right? Like if we just go to like window tint, which is one of the hardest sectors to really be able to position yourself as a premium shop, because there's always somebody who does window tint for $50. There's always some in every market in every part of the country. Yeah, dude, every part of the country.
It's a tire shop / window tint shop.
Yeah, dude. There is where I live in Maryville, Tennessee. There is a tire shop, mechanic shop, window tint detailer. That is like their business. In one maybe like 3,000 square foot building, the parking lot's fucking cracked the shit. Like you can't drive a car in there. You know what I mean? But yeah,
that's like typical of what I see here in Houston too.
I can see that, bro. The more rural communities are like that, right? But if I'm working with someone on window tint and we're trying to stand apart, I think there's a couple different ways you can do it. But one of the ways is like something as simple. If you can make filing windows sound sexy and like special and like nobody really does this, like you can tell them and make them visualize like hey, look, like if you go to your back window, it's already dyed. And you put it down a little bit and you kind of look at the top of it. If you notice, there's like no gap, right? You can see the dye all the way up. So the way we install window tint is after we pop your panel, we clean it, we squeegee and do all that stuff. We install it. We get it right above that line where the window's at. Then once it's a little bit drier, we go through with the special file. It's not a special file, but it's a special file, you know what I mean? And we file it and we match that factory tint so that unless you knew that we installed window tint, you can't tell it's not a factory. We just take a little bit of extra time to give you that little bit better result that we know is going to create like a lifetime worth of value for you.
So you go in depth and explain that like to the customer directly.
Yeah, and the process for PPF, dude, explain the shadow line to somebody who doesn't know what a shadow line is. You're the world's expert. And like, it's just a way to line up film. You know what I mean? But nobody goes through that in the sales process. They tell you it's 8 mils thick. That's not tangible for people. They tell you that it's, a 10-year warranty. It's also not tangible. If I'm not going to keep my car for 10 years and this isn't worth it to me, right? They tell you it's, UV resistant, not tangible, right? So that's all like specification based selling versus value based selling. It can prevent 1,500 worth of repaint on a hood, right? It can prevent that sunburst effect that you get on hoods that aren't taken care of, right? Like that's stuff people can attach to. I think that's the problem is people stay here, is they get pitched on PPF by Expel or whoever, and they just parrot those specs to the customer, but they don't know what we're talking about. This isn't
Buzzwords.
tangible. Yeah, they're just exactly 100%. It's
They
not
still have
tangible.
buzzwords.
Yeah, that to me would be the two easiest way to position yourself is just explain the process a little bit, and then like I do have a sales course. I do have like private sales training, but like in that training too, we focus on just selling without selling, just building like a connection with somebody. That I think is insanely underrated too. But yeah, what are you guys using currently?
So I kind of have a sales background before working at Chicago Auto Pros, and from the industry that I was doing was a lot of B2B and residential, so door-to-door stuff. And if anybody who's done door-to-door knows how freaking tough it is, it's a lot of impulse buying or like getting people to buy on impulse, right? Because you're standing at their door and you want them to buy right away. It sounds like you kind of understand this, and it's no secret out there, but there's certain ways to get people to kind of impulse, or the way you speak and the way you do things. I've kind of molded that into the industry that we're in now, and I've kind of combined that with the best way I can describe it is charisma and personability. So a lot of I'll explain a lot of the things if a customer wants to get technical, but I try to bring other like things that people do on a daily basis that I know will piss them off, the same way that it would piss them off if a shop of lesser quality did their car, right? So a big thing, and like you'll hear me if you just listen on the phones when I'm explaining PPF, is if you've ever tried to line up a screen protector, and some people don't even do it themselves, they'll take it to the kiosk at the mall.
I don't do it myself.
But if you try to line up if you try to line up the screen protector and it's off just a little bit, or if you find a speck of dust on there, like you're more than likely going to rip it off and try again. That's why people always buy the 3-pack. You've got 3 tries. And I'll explain to them that, for us, we're kind of the people at the kiosk where we're going to get it right every single time for you, and you're going to be happy with the result every single time. And like the screen protector and PPF, like it's just an analogy that people understand. And what I try to do is get people to understand real world outside of the cars, get them thinking about other things just to get them to say yes. Because my goal is to get them to say yes to whatever I say throughout the conversation.
Right. That makes sense. What about you, E? You are like the Yoda of PPF.
Well, like
Mr. International.
Yeah.
it's different for me because people just show up. Like when they want PPF, they already know what they want. Mm-hmm. They already know they want the best quality work, and that's the only reason they're contacting me. So like, I really don't ever do sales. I'm just like, give me your key, and they're like, have it done by Friday. I'm like, here you go.
Bring a blank check.
Yeah, like bring a blank check. I'll tell you how much it is. Which is like,
that's awesome. Congrats.
So I think we've all seen because I've seen the same thing at car shows where a guy's showing off his PPF, he had the whole car wrapped, and it was pretty average. And he's like, yeah, you're like, let me, if I can give you, I didn't tell him I own a detail shop. And he's like, I can give you the number of my guy if you want. And I'm like, no, that's cool. Thank you. But Eman, you set the standard. We were always trying to be the Chicago Auto Pros way. And Jesus, you touched on it earlier about talking about how you shave windows and how you do things. And it doesn't have to be something that you're the only person doing to say that this is our method. This is the way we do it here. And it can sound like you do it, but it doesn't have to be that something proprietary that nobody else does. So Eman, you set the tone. We always wanted to have the highest quality, but there comes a point where like if you're wrapping the film on the bottom of the door where no one's ever going to see it, or you're chasing a piece of dust underneath the bumper where no one is ever going to see it, maybe you're going a little too far. So what are your thoughts on that, especially because you set the tone, you had a very high quality that we still maintain, that you set when you were working here. And now you've seen the way a lot of other people do it. Like, have you changed your tune on quality, or where do you land on it?
So let's say 5 years ago, I was chasing the 1% install. That's you wrap everything. You wrap the bottom of the doors, you wrap the rear bumper, you take out the taillights, you take apart the fenders and rockers. Like, you're chasing the 1%. And like, you can do that. You could be the shop that does that, but it's like, it's very hard to make that profitable, because
I think it's very hard to sustain in general.
it's, let's say you have, okay, there's 5 of us in the room. I can do it, but then I need all 4 of you to do it as well. And like, that's very hard for all of you to like go reach that level and do it, right? So like, chasing the 1%, like, I'm done with that. Like, I don't need to do that anymore. And anywhere I go, like, all my friends that I've met in the industry, like, a lot of them chase the 1%. I try to pull them back off of it, just because I care more about them putting money like into their bank accounts and putting food on their children's plates, right? So chase the 1%, great if you're charging for it. Okay, that's awesome. But like, now what I do is I brought it down, let's say 5%. So 99% would be the 1%. So now in theory, I'm doing 95%. So it's like, you wrap 95% of the car perfectly. And like, hey, let's say if you're not going to wrap, let's take the fender, for instance. If you're not going to wrap into the headlight, okay, that's perfect. There's nothing wrong with that. But like, 1% me would want to take out the headlight, wrap that. Hey, let's pull the fender off a little bit, and let's wrap behind the A-pillar part. Not necessary, because at the end of the day, no one's really ever going to look at that. Nobody's really going to care.
And that's almost kind of like the standard we've always had for window tint, which
Yeah.
is like the 3% cluster rule.
But
Like, if it's not,
But like, that's very, you can do that, and you can consistently do that,
yeah,
right? Like, all you really, like, the thing that I've noticed is, to do high quality work, all you really need is, you need a clean room. Not necessarily like a clean room like you have here. Like, yeah, it's fantastic, but like, you can do really good quality work in a clean environment, as long as your environment's clean, the floor is clean, like, you prep the car properly, you're wearing the right clothes, and like,
Well,
you're-
technique.
and like, technically, if you're not like a dusty person, like, if you're dusty, don't do PPF.
We
Like,
got some dusty people.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But like, if
Shave
you're
your
just
arms.
like, if you just have a naturally clean environment, you can install really good work. Like, it's very easy.
Do
Actually.
you want to show them the grading scale thing? Would that help kind of explain the difference from like what you're talking about?
Like, if I can remember what it is?
No, I have it.
Oh,
I mean,
you have
do you
it.
want me to send it to J-Lo?
Yeah, send it to him.
Yeah. Because I think this is, so this actually was the, I'm going to airdrop it to you, J-Lo. That was the whole point of this, was like, I'm going to bring it back into the detail world, because I think that's the easiest place I can kind of bring it to. But I remember years ago seeing people in Facebook groups, like I call it like 2016 to 2018 probably, bragging about this like 40-hour, 70-step paint correction they would do on this car.
Fucking pointless.
Yeah, right. And it
Can
was
I
just,
swear? Yeah.
well, I mean, we've been fucking swearing, so. And you know, like it was cool, and then it was like, you know, they got like $1,000 or $2,000, and then you start doing the math. You're like, bro, you just made $25 an hour, and you got to pay taxes on that, so you really made like 17 an hour. You know what I mean? So we started noticing the same thing in the PPF industry, right, where people were coming to train with Eman because they wanted to learn how to do like this 1% work. And even for me, as like one of his close friends and assistant trainers, in my head, that like 1% work was like taking apart a bumper to wrap between the bumper and the fender. And I remember having that conversation of like, no, like, you can do insanely clean work and not do any of that. So that's where this came from. That's where this was established at. I would say the majority of installs in the country for window film, and I think you could actually probably line this up with tint.
Do it for
pretty well.
PPF.
For PPF?
Yeah, not window film.
Yeah, sorry, that's what I meant. For paint protection film, are probably at a C. I think this is probably where most people install at, right? And if you look at it, the very difference from S to A really isn't a whole lot. It's a lift line that nobody can physically see. Like, Greg, if Eman did an install on your hood and it had a lift line, I'd be hard pressed to believe you could actually tell a difference if he didn't tell you. You know, and you're someone who's seen PPF from, I mean, really the beginning of it being in our industry. And if someone like that can't see it, is that worth redoing? For a while it was, right? Because that was the MO, that was the standard. But then you realize you spend $1,500 on a piece of hood, or a film of $1,500 worth of film on a hood. for a lift line.
It's like everyone's like our standard is like S tier. Maybe we'll sometimes accept A tier, but I think like for most customers, like B or C is what's expected. And even for a premium, like I don't think they're looking for more than like A tier. And what we've seen and what Greg has seen, what he was talking about earlier with the car meets, he's a PCA judge, by the way.
Oh, nice.
Like there's some people out there that just get like what is average work to our eyes, but they see it as like this is the holy grail. Like we want the number for my guy.
I think a lot of people just don't know. Like they're not exposed to that S tier or A tier level work. But when they see it, it's like an addiction for them. Like that's what they have to have every single time now.
Yeah, right. Well, and every market's a little different too. I think that's one thing, because I've been traveling a whole lot. So part of what I'll do with the trainings is kind of do a little bit of market research on who's in the area, right? If I'm gonna go train in Chicago, I'm gonna go figure out who within 20 miles of this location is kind of the big dog. You guys here, at least, and between here and Glenview, do have a higher average work, I think. Like the shops in this area, I think, are better than the average shop in Atlanta, bro. Fucking E tier. They're horrible. I've only met maybe 1 to 3 good installers in like the Atlanta area, bro.
But I think it comes down to like who, like Chicago Auto Pros is huge in Chicago, right? And they've been running it for like 10 years.
Yep.
13.
So, 13 years.
Go.
So I hate saying it, but like, yes, they are the GOAT, and they still pretty much are the GOAT. And like, there's other shops that are chasing them. So like, the only reason the Chicagoland area has great PPF is because Chicago Auto Pro's been doing S and A tier work, and now everybody else is chasing them, trying to get better. And the only way to compete, is to, hey, you have to level up. And like now they're doing C, B, and like some shops are actually touching like A level work because I've seen them, and low key I've trained some of them. So
you probably train most of them, for being honest. But that's what I'm saying though. This is very market dependent. You go to LA, dude. Outside of One of One and American Film Co.
American Rap Co. Shout out.
Yeah.
Shout out my boy Tyler.
But yeah, like outside of them, everybody else is like D tier.
Yeah, and like people don't really, no one's ever really seen anything like this. This is something like me and Jesus kind of came up with, like out of nowhere.
There is no industry standard, really.
Yeah.
There isn't. There is no industry standard, but like amongst the PPF installers, like us,
we know.
Like S tier, 0 contamination, 0 lift line, 0 distortion, with adhesive, 0 air bubbles, blah blah blah, consistent lineups. Like it sounds very easy, but then like if you just get one distortion line, boom, you're an automatic like an A tier. And like there's nothing wrong with being A tier. I would me personally now as an installer, and like with my own company, like I'd much rather do A level tier work and not stress about chasing this S tier and wasting film. And like going home and thinking about like, oh man, should I take that piece of film off because I have one piece of dirt all the way on the bottom of the all the way on the bottom of like the fender. Yeah. Like I'd much rather live in the A tier level, and like it's very profitable. But it's only profitable because as an installer, like I'm so fast, I'm so like methodical with how I'm installing. I understand film, consistent.
Yeah, you have a system now.
Like. It's like me walking. Like that's how I see my installs. It's like I'm literally just walking around.
It's
like,
kind of crazy.
I'm just playing games at this point. Like I'll start a fender from the bottom and like do it in reverse just to see if I can do it just to goof off.
So basically making it as hard as possible to see if you can still get the same quality work for no reason other than to just fucking see if you can.
I'm just bored.
Would you say the gap of like talking business, like profitability, going from like B to A, how big of a gap is that in profitability versus A to S?
I should have brought my notebook in because I actually broke this down today for the class I was doing. So I'm good.
Go repeat the question. I didn't understand.
So obviously there's profitability gains by moving up, but I feel like it might be the opposite because obviously you have high volume shops doing D, C quality work like down in Atlanta, but then they might be priced less. Like what's the sweet spot if you guys have found one? I think you Eman think it's A tier. But like
it depends on the plan.
Well, it's A tier for me, right? But like I've been doing it for like a decade now, right?
Yeah.
So
well, and a decade at like the highest level.
Well, like in my opinion, like I've only really been good the last like 3 years.
He's lying, by the way.
Like no, it's just there's so many levels to it, and now I'm at a whole different level, which is kind of crazy.
Well, that's kind of, it's funny that you say that because I remember your transition out of Chicago Water Pros, and I remember that time of, hey, maybe we should reconsider S tier for every single thing that we do. And I remember it vividly of like you were making an effort of, hey, we are all losing sleep trying to chase this S tier, and the environment, the work environment that we're having right now it's almost hostile because people are trying like, I'm the best, I'm going to get this, I'm going to have the best install ever, and just kind of being on the other end of it, like not on the installer side, more managing the installer side. It's like for as I'm managing these guys, it's almost tough. Like not only are you losing sleep as the installer, but me as the manager, it's like I got to come up with all these excuses for customers now.
Well, and you got to sell it.
And I have to sell it,
How
which
do you
isn't
sell
really
S tier
necessarily the
work?
hard part. I'm pretty confident in the systems that we have for Chicago Water Pros, and we've been consistent. Like we know it works. We know the marketing's working. We know the sales is working. It's and I think this goes back to what you're saying, Jesus, is the market is like now we've got all these other guys that just are charging way less. And they're putting out this like C, B, D tier work,
Which is okay for their customers.
and it's okay. I think it's not okay if it's our customer going there and having a bad experience because their expectation is us, but they're going to get C, B, and D tier.
They shouldn't have left, bro. That's literally all it is. I know
Yeah,
you guys have had people leave and
I've
come
got
back and
so
go,
many
can
stories
you
of
guys
that
just
too.
redo it? Like, I'm sorry. You know
We
what
got
I
a
mean?
list of customers of shops that they went to that we had to redo.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen even some of the media companies that you guys used to work with, some of like the YouTube and Instagram influencers. Like they went to shops that I know don't do S tier work, and I was like, they are not going to be happy with that. You know what I mean? But they got some smoking deal, or someone thought that they were going to give a YouTuber a deal on a full body PPF, and all of a sudden their business was going to double. But
I don't remember if
uh-huh.
you were still around, Eman, but I like there's a story about that like that's stuck in my head, and this is still the most notable story, and it happened at the Glenview location. Um, I won't name any names, but let's say it was a Q8 that went to another shop, and I think you remember what I'm talking about, Eman. But this Q8 sat at this shop for almost 3 or 4 months, and this certain individual that everybody seemed to have been looking out for
Say the name.
left
We can blurt it out. I know, right?
Don't say
left.
the name.
You can
Oh
blurt
yeah,
it out?
you can.
We don't want
yeah.
no beef.
No, I want to know.
We don't want
How
no
much is
beef.
muscle?
But he like kept giving this customer the runaround, this and that, like to the point where the customer thought that this guy sold the car and like scrapped it and parted it out.
Scratched the VIN out and sold it.
Like they went to the shop, broke into the shop, grabbed the car and brought it straight to us. And the funny thing was, like 3 months before that, I had written them a quote for a full car PPF on the Q8, and it was like triple the price of what this person was charging them. But when they brought it to us, like literally the hatch, like the cardboard on the roll of film was like hanging off the back of the car as they drove it to us. Like there was film hanging everywhere, like nothing was cut, like it was just laid and that was it. And
What do you think happened there? So many questions.
there was a lot of things that happened, and we all kind of knew this guy's reputation, and we told them like, yeah, you could definitely go over there. That sounds like a great deal. You know, I'm not going to be anywhere near that. But they ended up like paying the person before he finished the job, which was a shame.
We don't
But
do that, by the
not
way.
only that, they had to pay for us to remove it and redo it.
Oh, that was probably like a 20 grand full body PPF job.
And this was like right when the Q8s first came out.
Those cars are so nice, by the way. I like those SQ8s
It's a
lot.
big car.
They're nice. I'm
A
a
lot
big
of
guy,
film.
so you know. Oh man.
But that's
But-
like the story that sticks in my head, like going through that. And when that happened, yeah, granted, every single one after that wasn't as drastic as that one. That's just what makes it notable is how drastic that situation was. But it happens so common, and people don't understand that. Like, hey, I'm not selling you snake oil here. Like, I'm giving you an experience that I'm trying to,
Yeah.
because I genuinely care about your car and I want your car to look good too.
Yeah, and that experience costs a lot of money. You guys run a monster of a shop. I remember talking with Greg one time, I think maybe the first month I was here, about like your guys' monthly overhead at the peak of it, right? And like I was making in a year what you guys were spending in a month. I was like, and I thought I was stressed out. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, this is insane, bro.
I still can't believe our overhead. It's kind of crazy.
When it's come down a lot, right? It sounds like, it's
We've
adjusted a
worked
little bit.
We've worked a lot at eliminating expenses and just finding cost reductions everywhere. I think for the longest time we were just chasing revenue. Like, if we just make a little more money, it'll all work out. And then you have to take the time to sort of pare things back and shop, around services and get rid of, how much stuff did we cut out that was just like, wait, why are we paying $100 a month for this service that we're not using? And it's like, I don't know. I thought we were using that. Nobody knows,
Well,
There was a lot that I found.
You're the
And to
Elon.
clarify for
Chicago
viewers,
Auto Pros.
no, it's not materials that we're using. It's not any our practices or anything that we cut down. It's more operating expenses and all that other stuff.
I don't want to get super into it, but there was no need for 5 YouTube editors.
Oh no, I mean, shit just gets real expensive real quick.
Yeah.
Like, I was literally having a chat with
We
him
just
last
talked
night
about
about it. He was all like, "Dude, you need to get this for your business and this and this and this." And I'm like, "Dude,
nah, hang on. Say what it was.
I don't want to spend any of this. Like,
No, what was
there's
the
no,
craziest
there's no
part?
need to like have
Okay.
all this."
I want
You
to.
need QuickBooks.
No,
Just-
I want
that's
to
it. That's all you
explain Eman to people who haven't met Eman. Eman is the cheapest person who has a little bit of money that I know. So he
Oh, I'm the same way.
I don't like wash my mouth with you anymore. You know what I mean? Because like you can't fire me now. So like whatever, right? So
So you're saying he would fire you?
it was just a weird fear I had for a while. So he had posted his like a flyer about a training he was doing, and it was like automotive protective solutions 11 at Gmail or something. And I texted him, I was like, bro, get rid of that ugly ass fucking email. Pay for G Suite. It's like $150 a month, and you can get the nice email, you get Gemini, you get all the cool stuff, right? And or pay $16 a month, right? And he was like, I just don't want to pay it.
Yeah, like, I just
Bro,
don't.
it's $16. Like,
But it's like $16 there, and then
Yeah.
$16 on YouTube, and
Yeah.
then $16 on Instagram, and
the
then there's
verified,
Facebook,
yeah.
and then it's just like, then you got to pay for all these other subscriptions that like, you really don't need. You use them one time a month,
Yep.
and then you never use it again.
Yeah, the Canva thing.
The Canva.
Yeah, we were talking
Why
about
am I
Canva.
using that?
Yep,
Why am I paying for that
Yeah,
shit?
we just
But,
share our
like,
login.
I can't imagine the amount of subscriptions that you guys had.
Well,
Yeah.
and I would say, outside looking in, I think the previous part of the leadership had a habit of just signing on for shit and then forgetting about it. Because I remember having that same kind of conversation at Optical for a while, where I was like,
It's about discipline.
yeah, what are these like 17 random things we're paying for a month? And like nobody knew what it was, So like it just kind of happens, man. I think some people, like I'm definitely more oriented to like, hey, just spend it. It's gonna have to come out eventually, anyways, right? And then you get the other end of it there. But I do think I don't think detailing is an economy of scale, Greg. Where like if you're making $50 million a year, all of a sudden you're more profitable if you're still like spending a shit ton. You know what I mean? And I think that's where that comes in, because we had done an example on there was an F350 we were doing in the class. We had done an example on like what it was a $3,500 S tier install, a $2,800 A tier install, I think a $2,500 B tier, and like a
For,
$2,200
full
C
front
tier,
clip?
full front clip. Yeah. And then we broke it down, material costs, projected how many times we were going to have to redo the hood because like the F250, or sorry, the Super Duty was going to pop up and we're going to have to redo it. And, we added it up, and like the most profitable one actually was the B tier, because it was one shot.
Yeah.
It's one shot on anything. Hey, there's a bubble. Cool. I'm going to pop it. Have a good day. It's $2,500. I can do it in a day. It's 500 in material. Gone.
I got to interrupt you guys here because I understand A, B, C, and D. That's a typical grading scale, but you've got S at the top.
Yes.
Super
super tier.
It's like a new
Super.
It's
You're
like
in a different generation.
Yeah.
A++.
Yeah.
Basically.
Did you get an S in school?
I skipped a grade. Technically once, yeah, I did.
So this is a grading scale and that schools would use.
No, I don't know where.
no,
This
no.
came from like YouTube or something.
Yeah,
No,
this
this
is
is like
like
a
for
YouTube
ranking
thing.
things.
Like-
Young cats.
Like an internet thing. Yeah.
Like
yeah.
if you got Riz and you put S tier up there.
Right. If you know
If
what
you
that
learn how
word
to cook.
means.
Yeah. Like Chicago Auto Pros. S tier.
S tier.
You know what I mean? I was gonna say something.
I've always maintained that we should always be chasing the best I'm certainly A. And I always thought as long as our quality goal is higher than our customer's quality goal,
Right.
we're okay. Like you don't have, there's a little bit of variability because it's a human product.
That's the thing too. Is like, sorry to interrupt, Greg, but like I've always been taught like in business classes, like the rate of people complaining about the service or product they receive, like your return rate. Huge for e-commerce. Like we get returns from CSW for some reason. I don't know why they're still coming here. Someone over there needs to change the mailing address.
I don't think there is anybody over there who can change it anymore, bro. There's like 3 people in that building. God damn.
But yeah, it's like I've never seen someone complain about our quality of work. Like there's some redos with like when vinyl pops up.
Yeah.
But like we fix it. But like as far as PPF and coatings, like I have never seen a single person be like, "Yo, this blows."
Well, and I bet you most of it, if people do complain, is just what we were talking about with that Dakar. It's just overdoing it where the film's not going to hold, and then it pops. And then you just got to kind of trim it back a little bit.
You guys watch that video?
I watched it last night.
We liked it.
It was actually really good.
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
I critiqued the F out of it though.
We did, bro. We went like frame by frame.
I'm down to hear it.
It was really good. I was like, wow, they actually.
What are you critiquing, Rob's technique or the editing?
The
editing,
the angles,
the angle. There were too many angles. I was like, frick.
The intro.
I'm getting a
You
seizure.
should have seen before we.
Yeah, you should have seen the rough cut.
But it was actually like a really good video. Like I was impressed. I was like,
He got
nice.
the story like 90, I'd say B, A tier.
It was good.
The cinematic quality was S tier, but I think like the angles could have been better.
Yeah, but you know what it does though, unfortunately, in the era of short form content, having the constant reframing just draws your eyes to it. Yeah. So like you kind of have to do it.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I didn't have anything like bad to say about it.
I'm gonna give it an A. It was an A.
Yeah, I'd be happy there. You know what I mean? I have a question for you guys because you guys keep talking about quality. And this is always a question I've had. I'm like a fan now, right? I'm not like sleeping at Eman's house. Like this is just outside looking in. What was we're in the same bed. What was the perfect, so like I've always seen this perfect storm, right? Of like you guys happen to have, I don't know if it was luck or meant to be. I feel like it was meant to be. Somebody in Eman, right? Who you could say, go be the best. And he would genuinely go put all his fucking effort and all his like life force into being the best. And then on the back end of it, you guys had a shop that could financially support, probably burning through an insane amount of cash, just redoing stuff, trainings, like just like how many times did you redo like your first F350 hood or your first Ferrari 430 bumper? You know what I mean? Like there's not a lot of places that had the cash flow, going back to your revenue thing, Greg, that could like support someone just burning through film, probably a lot, you know what I mean? Or like, hey guys, I decided to do the fender the wrong way this time and it didn't work out. I'm going to go reprint it, right? Like what was this kind of like the genesis of that mindset? Was there ever a you got to stop? Was there ever a he got complacent and you had to push him farther? Like what did that look like in 2013, 14, 15, 16, 17? Because that was pre-YouTube, right? YouTube didn't start until 16, didn't really pop until probably about 18, I think, right? What did that look like behind closed doors? Like that dynamic between the front desk, the managerial side of it, and the installer side of it.
You know, we started Chicago Auto Pros with the goal, like I say I started it for me as a customer. Like
Okay.
I just wanted a place where you could get great work. And I never thought it would be a big shop. And that's what surprised me is once we got going and people every day, and AJ, you were probably around when this started happening, they would come through the door panting a little bit. Thank God I found you guys. Like they were relieved. They were relieved because they're like, you get me. And I think that's what the videos did for us, is that it showed everyone what we were doing. And they're like, yes, that is exactly what I want. So that surprised me. I didn't think that people wanted it the same way that I wanted that quality work.
But was that always the branding? Because you positioned yourself with the content, but was that always the branding? Was that always okay? Got it.
Yeah, since day one.
Just be the best.
And we always tried to sell the best. And you just want, yes, we know it's expensive, but we weren't trying to be expensive. We were trying to charge what it took.
Yeah, keep the doors open.
You could
Yeah.
fly through this install and do it in 2 hours and it would be okay. Or you could take 4 hours and take the stuff apart and check everything, and our quality control process would be there at the end. And that takes longer. And so we were just trying to charge enough money to cover what it takes to do it right. And that was one of our early models, just do it right. And we knew whenever we got into a new field, like we didn't do window tinting at first. We outsourced to this other dude. It was terrible. He was unreliable. He did shitty work.
E-Man pissed him off. I'm nitpicking him, right? That's the
No,
story.
he was
Or is that the
just
PPF guy?
But anyway, if you're a detail shop out there and you're thinking about getting into window tint, the easiest way to do it is to hire a guy who's got a window tint shop and just outsource to him. Be like, hey, I'm just going to send you my customer and mark it up a little bit. And that works as long as that guy is reliable and consistent. And the guy we had was not.
Well, most window tinters aren't. I think we did like a profile thing one time. Do you remember that? The spectrum of the industry and where everyone landed at. Tinters aren't usually reliable.
Leave Kirby out of
Dusty.
Dusty.
You better leave Kirby out of this. He's the god.
Yeah, Kirby's next level.
Awesome.
Good.
It's good. Anyway, Eman, you were there. You pioneered both of those industries for us. We started with window tint, and I would measure. That was a big part, Jesus, of how do you invest in that? We always consider we're investing in it. And to invest in paint protection, let's start with window tint. We invested in window tint. We bought a plotter. We bought a bunch of film. We paid for the guys to start to learn. And we watched, it was at the point where we were losing money on every job because the guys were burning through so much film.
Right. And this is what, 2014 probably?
This was probably pre-2015 because we just had one shop that we opened our second shop.
There's no ELMs, right? There's no Tint School online. There's no E-Man you can send people to go train at. How are you learning this? There's no Matt Blackmere back then because you trained him, right?
You just learn along the way. Like you learn from other people in the industry.
Okay. But did you guys bring in a trainer? Because like that part. So to me, I was only doing paint corrections and coatings back then. I hated window tint. So I have no knowledge of what the industry looked like for window tint then.
I feel like you could only learn from somebody else.
Okay. Like a local shop.
Yeah, like the tinner we were talking about, his name is Frankie. Like,
okay.
Technically, I learned from Frankie.
Oh, okay.
But then Frankie, like you can only learn as much that they're willing to teach you. And then once you get to their same level, if you accidentally go a little bit higher, then they go away.
Right.
Yeah.
But then you have to go find somebody else again.
Right.
Then you do it again.
Yeah.
You do it again. You just
That's
keep
an interesting
continuously
journey.
do it.
Okay.
Well, anyway, what we measured and what we saw was that once, Eman, you got in there and got some skills, so we ate a lot of, we lost money for a while on tinting until Eman got in there, got consistent and settled it down. And then we saw the cost per car of window tint drop to where it should be, which is, basically, there's a tiny, I think, we plan for a couple percent cost in, what am I trying to say? In
like redos or something.
Shrinkage. Most cars you do great. Every once in a while you got to redo a window, and that's not very much. So now the window tint costs are in line, and E-Man starts doing that, and he does it consistently, and he starts training other guys, and now we've got a window tint program. So we ate it for a while, and then he got it right. And then he got then he leaves the window tint department to his brother.
Oh, that's right. You did tell me about this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got it.
Was that who you left it to? I know he wound up there eventually.
Yeah,
but
because
Just gave it to him.
he was better than me.
Really? That's
Yeah.
crazy. To this day, still.
Yeah, he's better than me.
Chat clip that.
Yeah. Don't send it to him though.
But you set the line. You set the line, and you say to a trainee, "This is what quality looks like, and it's got to be better than this."
Yeah,
And
you set the
guys will just
scale.
keep doing it, and that's what we saw in Kirby or Leo. I'm not calling him Kirby anymore because I don't think he likes that nickname.
Is there a reason that nickname came around?
He looks like Kirby.
We had an employee who gave every employee a nickname, and if he gave you a good nickname, he liked you. If it was a lousy nickname, he didn't like you.
Was this nickname giving employee a Mexican dude?
Yeah, Oscar.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Dude, that makes
He's still
so much sense.
Awesome guy. But yeah, he
Could've been
gave
Aloe.
him. He looked like the Pokemon character Kirby, so he called him.
That's so fucking funny, bro. Oh man. Okay. What
Anyway,
was the
Eman,
standard?
you switched over into PPF, and
Mhm.
I'm waiting for you to pepper in some comments here if I got this stuff wrong. But this is what I observed, and you worked with a guy who was a freelancer who wound up coming on full time, And he was very reluctant to give you his quote unquote secrets.
Gatekeeping.
Like, he didn't want to teach Eman too much. And I was insisting on it. Like, you have to teach them. We have to grow this department. We had too much demand for it. And I think that's one of the things that forced you to learn, is because you had to figure out film on your own. And at least rather than someone just showing you, hey, do this, do that, and don't do that, you go, okay, and you just do it because that's what they told you. Whereas you figured out why you do this and why you do that and why you don't want to do that, right? You learn the hard way. Like, what was your experience there? But to answer the question, or at least I think you're answering Jesus' question, is, again, we lost a lot of money on film, but we always pushed Eman and the guys to be really, really good. We want to be doing the best quality work in Chicago. And so we'll stick to that. And it was really hard to pull it back. And once we did that, the guys are artists, and they become very, they become prima donnas about it. And I think we have two amazing installers, but we can't get them to be like, dude, you don't have to do that. No, I'm going to do it. Like, they're on their own and they're doing it their way. But Eman, you figured that out and you set the tone. So, I'm curious your background on that and how you saw the learning process.
Like, what was your mindset? You get what I'm saying? Like, if we're talking about the chess game we've been playing, right? Like, you got all these pieces on the board. You got the tenor already. Where are you going? What's the strategy?
I think it just comes down to mindset.
Okay.
So it's like I just have like this obsessed mindset where it's like, like in this room, like I have to be the best one at whatever the heck I do.
Right.
Like when we were playing chess last night, I was so mad.
I could tell.
He beat me 5 times in a row. And I was like, I don't want to play this anymore. Yeah. Like, I need to figure out how to beat him, and I will
6-1
later.
So
but far. I think when we were with Chicago Auto Pros and me when we first started, like, it was a perfect combination of everything. Like, I had that tenacity to want to become the best,
that
but
obsession,
then but like Chicago Auto Pros was able to feed me the work
and fund it
and fund it at the same time, which is like, you don't get that anymore.
Like 100%, the planets align.
That everything aligned perfectly, right? And then like right under me, I had 2 other hungry people.
This is Rob and
Andrew.
Oh, Andrew, that's right. Andrew's been around a long ass time.
Those were my first 2 people, and like Rob just has this tenacity as well that he just wants to be the best. And then Andrew, without knowing it, he's very nonchalant, chill. He also wants to be the best,
It's like a quiet.
Yeah, everybody wants to be the best, and like we, as like a trio, like I'd be on top. Pause. And then Rob would be on the bottom. Rob would be on top.
Now Eman's on the bottom.
For like a day. And then I'd be like, damn, well, now I got to be better than Rob. So like we fostered like this little mini community of like we all were just trying to get better than each other all the time.
So just none of you guys were bottoms.
Yeah.
No
power bottoms.
No power bottoms. But like there was just a great combination of like Chicago Auto Pros could fund it.
Right.
Nobody was like on our tails about it, like, hey, you're wasting too much film. Like, yeah, I know Greg said it a couple of times. He'd be like, yo, we're wasting too much film. I'd be like, Greg, shut up. We're trying to do the best work we could possibly do in the world here, okay? Like, we're making YouTube videos where like we're doing 1% work. Like,
you guys are, bro.
And I remember being on the other end of that, of like I sold that 1% work. So I remember Greg also saying, hey, these guys are wasting so much film, like try to get the cars out. And I would go back and like, yeah, in my mind, I'm like, yeah, Greg said this, but I kind of told this customer it's going to be absolutely perfect. So just don't mess this up.
And like, what sucks about that is that like absolute perfect to a customer is B tier work.
Mm-hmm. Right, but you guys were doing like S+ tier work.
But we were trying to do S tier work.
Yeah.
You remember, Eman, the blue Ford 8 Pista?
I talk about that car all the time.
I remember when you first got that, and it looked like you lost sleep every single night.
Is that the one
car.
We took the whole thing apart.
I thought it was a LaFerrari.
No, it was a brand new 488 piece, whatever.
A
pizza car.
Yeah, pizza
car. Literally took off the rear bumper, took off the front bumper, took off the hood.
Yeah.
Like borderline taking off the doors, like a brand new Ferrari.
Yeah.
Are
you a certified Ferrari technician?
I am a certified Ferrari technician.
Honorary.
You know, the funny part about that is, so for people who don't know, we do a checkup wash after each car that we do, right? So you come back in 2 weeks, check things up. And I remember that there was a part that was peeling on the hood because that hood is crazy, and it was peeling up pretty bad. And I'm in this S tier mindset of like, yeah, that looks like trash. Like we have to absolutely redo that. And this guy didn't even notice it was there, but it was filled with dirt. And I remember during the checkup wash, he was okay with us just trimming out the dirt, and that's it. But now he's got this like huge gap where the vent was. And it's like you guys just went through a whole month of like agony trying to get this thing perfect. And this dude did not care about this like quarter size dirt spot in the middle of his hood.
The customers don't care because they don't know,
Mm-hmm.
right? We care because we know,
Mm-hmm.
right? But what's crazy is Greg doesn't know this, but like we did that car 3 times.
Yeah.
Did you really?
No,
That
I
entire
was aware
car?
of that.
Okay, well,
That
he
entire-
watched the cameras.
stupid idiot.
How long is that? Is that like a 2 week, 3 week, like all hands on deck? It's got to be at least.
I'm
a
pretty
It
week.
was
sure-
like a month almost.
I'm pretty sure it was 3 people. It was a month.
That's
I'm
crazy.
almost certain it was about a month because I remember we got the red Ferrari right after that, and we were waiting for you to finish that 488 to do the red one.
We probably
way-
spent $6,000 in film
Oh my god,
and
Like 10 grand in labor.
150 hours
bro. That's crazy.
to do that one car.
Do you know that those numbers, Greg, off the top of your head, roughly what that cost?
No, what do I know what it cost? No, I didn't know. I saw it. I saw it taken apart. I was pretty alarmed by that. But I look at it as, but it's learning. Like I don't think, I used to. It's funny that the sound of a hood being torn off of a car and being wadded up because they screwed up a hood, like that's a $300 sound if you think about it. Every time you pull up a hood and throw it in the trash, there's a couple $100 right there.
And I
But
think
I applauded what you guys were doing because what you're trying to do is be state of the art, and that takes some time sometimes. And so we're investing in it, and overall, like the customers have to pay for that. Like, we're losing money on it, but we're trying to make it up on other,
Yeah,
um,
on the Model
on
S's you did or whatever.
right. And that's what there was a story about. I don't want to bore you guys with stories, but I'm going to have to now because I started. It was a woman comes to Pablo Picasso and asks him to paint a picture of her cat. And Pablo Picasso says, all right, come back in a month and I'll have a picture of your cat for you. And a month goes by. The woman comes back to Pablo's studio and says, hey, I'm here to pick up the picture of my cat. He goes, oh, yeah, I remember you. He grabs a piece of paper, scribbles out a cat, hands it to her and says, that'll be $1,000 or whatever he charged her. And the woman's like, what, that took you 2 minutes. That's not $1,000. What the hell? And he goes, you're not paying for that. He goes, you're paying for that. And he points to a stack of cat pictures that he had been working on for the last month.
Right.
You're not paying for just the work and the time it takes. You're paying for the skill that is required. And that's what we invested in. We invested in building up the skills of our installers with that job. Now, maybe you took it too far, but maybe we know a little bit about why you took it too far. I'm sure you learned something because you're still talking about it.
I probably learned a lot. Right?
We learned to not do that ever again.
I also learned how
Still
much
doing
it
it.
costs.
We're like, what the hell are we
to
doing?
replace the Ferrari
We're not
fender.
Ferrari technicians.
Well, so when you first told me that story, I was like, I know where you worked at before you worked here.
At Burger King?
Yeah, and that was like your first job, right? So I'm like, there's no mechanic experience. Dude, we were supposed to do a whole piece of content on that for fucking ever.
Yeah, I
And
used
it
to
just
work at
got
Burger King.
fucking...
Did you ever mention that on our YouTube?
Nope. I don't think so, bro. I'm sorry, because I was like I mean it when I say it, like I was a legit fan of you guys. I remember, like when I met you, there was quite a bit about you I knew. You get what I'm saying? I don't remember ever hearing that. You know what I mean? Because that to me was such a like, it's almost like what's the CEO at NVIDIA, right? Like if you look on his resume, it's like Denny's $1 trillion company. That's like his whole resume. You know what I mean? So it's almost like Burger King, best PPF installer in the world. Like I always thought that was super cool. But yeah, I don't remember you ever talking about that on camera. How much? In this time period, you guys have used maybe 2-3 brands of film in that time period. Lumar, Expel. Was there ever anything else?
Lumar, Expel.
I guess maybe some colored stuff too. But I mean, like as a main.
Lumar, Expel are the main ones.
Okay, how much do you think being? And I'm asking this because I think this is a big point of contention with a lot of people now, with all the new PPF companies coming out, even us at Optical. Like we had some shops that were like big heavy hitters with these big brands that just said, nope, it's cool, I'm going over here. How much do you guys feel like being associated with the Lumar and Expel helped grow the brand? Would you say it was necessary? And do you think they helped you as an installer? So there's like a business question, a sales question, and an installer question.
There's ebbs and flows for sure on the sales side, or at least for what I see on the demand. There was a time period last year where being an XPEL installer was an important thing. Even though we were XPEL installers at the time, we never really advertised that we do XPEL. And a lot of it is because if you want to know what we do, we'll tell you what we do, but we're not really selling you that product. We're selling you our work.
The service, right? Yeah, the
Yeah.
quality.
So it's kind of the way that we go about it. If somebody asks, what film do you do? Yeah, we're XPEL, or if we were Lumar at the time, or when we were doing the optical film too. We were very transparent about what we were doing. But we always reverted back to, if you gave Eman a let's say a no-name brand film, white box film, he's still going to install that film much better than anybody else with that same box of film.
Yeah, I've seen it. We were looking at the video last night, the R33.
Easy.
No name film.
And that's what I always go back to on the sales side is you're not buying this material. Yep.
And I think the customers assume that we're using good materials, and they don't know what's better. They might have heard of one brand or another, but you could tell them this is the best film that's ever been made. They never heard of it. They're like, oh, okay. But they know our reputation and they want to come to us for that.
Yeah, and going off that, it's about it's a lot about brand equity and basically coattailing off each other's reputation. So if you're a smaller shop and you don't have a reputation in film, well, you're gonna have to piggyback off of someone that has that reputation in the industry. And at one point, like, you're gonna outgrow each other. There's a bunch of small film. We were talking earlier. There's a bunch of small people trying to get into the PPF industry, and so there's only really one big way to launch that, and that's with a shop with a big reputation, social media following. Sounds familiar, but then it goes vice versa. So like we could use practically any film, like Greg and AJ are saying, and like people believe our reputation over. Like, it just becomes a name that they know versus like XPEL might be a name that a lot of people know but don't know us. So it can work it's like a double positive in a way. It can never be a negative unless like you're a no-name shop using a no-name film. Like then that's going to be an issue in reputation-wise, trying to build that rapport with your customers that have no idea, or especially the people that do high-intent search. So like, film is a big one. Like usually people that want, it's more ceramic coatings. Like usually people that want ceramic coatings know why they want it and they do their research. They go on Reddit. So not using, for example, a named ceramic coating that no one knows about is going to be tough to sell when you don't have that reputation. Like you have one Google review. Like that's going to be a tough sell for like a $3,000 ceramic coating. Okay. That's tough.
What about as an installer? Do you feel like being with those brands helped you grow at all?
100%.
Okay.
So we started with Lumar.
Mm-hmm. Tint and PPF?
Yeah, tint and PPF, I believe.
Yeah, it was both.
Okay.
And it was great and loved it. Loved the sales team. I loved everything about Lumar. I thought it was fantastic. The only thing where they were lacking is they didn't have a software for their window tint patterns or their PPF patterns.
What were you using?
I think we were bulking everything.
There was a time period where we were in between and we were cutting Lumar film on dab.
Oh,
okay.
But that's like 10 years ago. Oh, well, maybe then. Okay.
We gotta cut that out.
Clip it.
You gotta
Is that a bad thing? No, I don't.
No, but then we were.
At the time, XPEL allowed you to buy credits.
Yeah, I was
we
gonna
were
say.
just buying dab
Okay,
credits.
so we're good. We're good.
But then
and
we
then
were.
they changed their policy and said, "Hey, we're not doing that anymore," and that forced our hand.
But they did help us a lot. But they helped us because they had a great product and they had technical support.
So there was technical support.
There was technical support.
Okay.
Lumar had great technical support. They didn't have like the best installers because I thought they were more of like a film company, like for tint,
Not an installer
not
company.
PPF.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So they didn't really have a lot of people to like help you. But XPEL actually had some of the best installers in the country because they
At
were
the
just
time.
a powerhouse. XPEL was big. So like when we transitioned to Expel, like they flew in trainers and like I think
They flew us
Expel,
out to eat.
yeah, they flew
That
us
was,
out to eat.
I was like, whoa.
I'll,
Scott never took me out to
I'll
eat.
shout out my boy Chris West, but like,
I was gonna ask you that.
dude,
That's
Chris
what it
West
was.
is a fucking beast.
Yeah.
Like when he came, and like when we switched, and then he came here, and like me and him worked together. That was the first time I've ever done a front clip in 45 minutes.
Wow.
And it was
45 minutes.
Yeah, it was me and him, but like we were just both in sequence where like he was doing something and I was like following him, and then I'd do something, he'd follow me. We didn't talk the whole time, but like front clip done in 45 minutes. Like, and it
Wow.
was like
Man.
A. Let's just say A,
Yeah,
just to
maybe
be nice.
yes, but let's say
Yeah, let's just say A. But like, so like,
profit.
so with that,
Yeah.
I mean, with Expel, you had the software, the technical support, but then you also had the branding. Like,
Right.
I mean, Expel just has great branding.
They do. They do.
You know, like everywhere you go, like people want Expel, and like even though it's not promoted heavily here, which it shouldn't be because this is Chicago Auto Pros, not Expel.
Chicago, yeah, yeah.
But like, Expel is massive, and like that did help funnel in more work, and then it just made everything better. It was the trick. It was everything coming together.
Got it. So again, just the planets aligning, kind of going back. Well, because I'm assuming, like someone onboarding with Expel today is probably a way different. They're not getting Chris West.
No,
I don't think anyone's getting Chris West. Dude, that dude was in Saudi Arabia for like 2 years because the Saudi government decided to invest into NMS. He lived out there for like 2 years. So like, I wonder if how much that's changed now that they're like, you know, a public company backed by BlackRock. No. I know that they're still huge. I'm saying I wonder how supportive they are now.
more.
You think so? It's got to be hard to keep up with so many
I think their
accounts.
training is probably better. We got a couple guys going to their training class down in San Antonio
Next week.
next week, and so we'll see. But I remember that it was okay previously when we sent guys. They probably stepped up their training game.
I hope so because I've heard some really bad stuff about their trainings.
On the at least the representative side, we went through a couple different Expel reps that like we just did not like. The current one we have now, he's pretty cool. He's pretty responsive.
Shout out Adam.
So
Aaron?
yeah, Adam
Ferris.
He's like super cool, super responsive, like
Goat.
super willing to help us out.
Okay.
So this is like the first experience that we've had with Expel where I'm like okay with the rep and like how they're treating us.
Yeah, because again, man, we earned a lot of customers at Expel just because we cared and we weren't assholes. And it just seemed like the other companies they were dealing with, the Lumars, Expels, just didn't seem to care as much. You know what I mean? Like we earned a lot of people that way, bro. So my perspective of Expel is the little shop that they were just being a dick to forever. And I was just like, I don't even want to play ball. Like whatever, I'll find somebody else. You know what I mean?
They don't care about the little shop. I mean, you know, they want to move film, and they don't care what grade quality you're doing. You're just slinging film. That's great for them. They want to sell you more rolls, and I don't mean that they don't care. I just mean that that's not their priority, and they can't control that, so they don't. Yeah, they just want you to buy a lot of film, and
They're
so
still in awe anytime I have conversations with them, that the level of quality we're achieving and how much we're able to charge. Like I spoke to the Expel of Houston store here, and when I told them how much our Model 3 full front clip was, they're like, wait, what? Say that again? Like, how are you getting away with that? You know, what are you guys doing differently than what we're doing?
Good work.
Just good work, and it's a different market.
All it is.
Yeah.
And they're not too far from us, but I think it was like a difference of like $500. But
That's a big
$500
jump,
is
bro.
a lot of money for certain in different markets.
Yeah, it's 20-30%. Yeah.
But they were just astonished that we were able to get away with it and keep a full schedule.
What's an average front clip cost in here?
Nowadays, I'd say between 28 and 3,500.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I think national average is probably 22.
Yeah, my guess was 29.
But less.
I think it's lower than 22, like across the country.
Yeah,
flying
there's
low?
shops
Okay.
in the Glenview area, I'll say, the North Shore area, that are like 1,600 for Model 3 still. And that's like 2018 prices for us.
I mean, is that like a loss leader at that point, or are they like just charging 16 for everything?
I think they're charging 16 for everything.
That's insane, bro.
It's tricky.
With how much work PPF is, that can't be a loss leader.
Well, here's the thing. If you do C tier work,
Yeah.
you could charge 1,600. and you could do it in 4 hours, and you're banking.
Well, I was gonna say, do you want to talk about why the Atlanta market is so shit and the person that set the standard there?
No,
No? Okay.
no shots being fired today.
Okay, so no shots being fired, but let's say the highest revenue generating shop I've ever spoken to would do a full body for $5 to $7 grand, somewhere between C and D tier, in 3 hours at your location, and then bounce to the next one. And they were doing, I mean, deca millions.
Yeah, but that's like, so it's two different styles. So you could chase the S tier 1% work, or you can do D tier. Hey, I'll get it done in 30 minutes for you, like, and then you go back to lunch. Like, who cares?
And technically, both are profitable, right? But this
that just sounds so crazy to me. A full car in 3 hours.
But it's on there, you know what I mean? And the thing is, like, and this almost goes back to, I think you had mentioned the profitability and like where you can kind of adjust to. There's two different ball games. There's I'm gonna build a brand, make a ton of revenue, and sell and walk out with a bag and go buy 15 houses or whatever he has now, or I'm gonna be here for 20 years and I'm gonna build it slow. And I'm going to build an Eman and a Rob and a J Lau and a AJ, you know, and I'm going to do it the long way. And this will never sell for 50 million because it's making 50. You know what I mean? But it's going to make 50 million over X amount of years. You know what I mean? Like there's two very different styles to the business model. At least the ones I've seen that have worked.
You know, and my first experience at Expel was they were celebrating. There were so many guys there that were celebrated for being huge shops, and you talk to them and there's no love in what they were doing. And I found that very off-putting, because I'm not trying to do the most amount of PPF. I'm trying to do the best people. Like I wanted to just do it right, do it awesome, right? And I want to love the customers' cars that come in here. And to me, it's not about making a decision. It's about, there's only one way to do it and do it right. Like I don't want to turn out lousy work, and I don't want to turn out work for everyone. I want to turn out the best work, right? I want to turn out work that I'm proud of and that I want on my own vehicle. And I think, and just staying true to that, having that vision, staying true to that, and letting that guide us. Yeah, it might not be the most profitable way to do it, but it helps me sleep at night.
Yeah. Well, and you set the mission statement.
A lot of the guys, they were way more interested in the fancy watch they were wearing than in the quality of the work they were doing. You know, doing dealer work, just making it good enough.
Yeah,
it's not for me.
Just the lifestyle. They want the lifestyle.
It's the lifestyle.
Yeah.
And I think if all you want, like, go open up a Jimmy John's. You know, it's an easier way to make money.
But you can't start it with $1,000.
Yeah, right.
You can't start something that generates. You can't start something that has the ceiling this has. I think for less than 10. Like I don't think there's any other business that you can dump 10 grand into and have this high of a possible ceiling if you just play it right.
You know, detailing. You can be a mobile detailer, and that's how most guys seem to start. Like I like this stuff, and I'm doing it anyway. You know, I have a buffer, and I got all the polishes, and I got a bunch of towels because I do it on my own car, and I'm going to go into business. And all you do is take all that stuff and you throw it in the trunk of your car, and you call yourself a mobile detailer. There's zero barrier to entry. What's the barrier to entry to getting into PPF? That's a little bit higher.
Low end, like dumb low end, you're just bulking everything, 10.
Right,
Low.
you're going to burn
Plotter's
through
10.
$10,000 in film, or you need $10,000 in film and equipment.
It's like 2 to 5 in like training and like tools, and then like 5 in just film to kind of get like $5 grand in revenue out of it. You do it the right way, plotter. Like remember doing the Kansas City training? He was in at 36,000, all in for PPF and window tint. You have the plotters, us out there for a little bit. The tools, core, you know what I'm saying? Like it's 36 grand.
For me to start it, I spent 20 grand.
Today, right? Like in today's market?
Today.
Yeah. And that was like you got a little deal on the
Plotter
graph
alone
tag.
Plotter, film,
Yep.
and then training, you're 20 in.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. And that's not even accounting for, which is one thing we talked about a lot in the trainings, right? It was like if you're not gonna go Expel, the only other software really worth a damn in today's market's Core. And Core for window tint and PPF is $600 a month. And 6 times 12, dude, like you're 15 grand into a plotter in the software year one. No film, no training, no fucking concept of what you're doing. And you're 15 grand into it. And then you find out 6 months in you hate it. That's why plotters go on sale all the time on Marketplace. I see them every week. 5 grand, 4 grand, 6 grand. Used once.
That's terrible.
It's kind of nice.
It is for the people that are cash ready.
Well, yeah. Well,
I
and
gotta
then
get you guys looking for one. We just bought one for extra plotter.
Oh, you should have told
You
us.
should have hit
We
me
had like
up.
3 different people. Yeah, he
No,
had too.
I get
No, I
plotters.
didn't.
I get plotters for like $5,000 now.
Yeah,
Shit's crazy.
consistently.
People just give me them.
Yeah. You know, there's a distributor around here if you need one.
I got the connect.
Little-
I'm the plug on
yeah.
plotters.
You're the plug on everything PPF related.
Let's switch to colored PPF.
Fuck
All
colored PPF.
You what?
I fucking hate it.
Why do you hate it?
Because it makes them do S tier work again.
You have to do S tier work when you're doing
You
colored
kinda have to.
PPF. You know, you can't get away with colored PPF. It's just a different beast. Like,
Well, let's back up a second. Make sure we just clarify what is colored PPF. You know, typically colored PPF is clear, or sorry, typically PPF is clear. Vinyl is color change vinyl. Explain why we even have colored PPF.
why? Because it exists because we continuously innovate. Okay, so like
Okay.
colored PPF is the new modern day vinyl,
Okay,
and it's advanced vinyl to the next level, right?
sure.
And like to me right now, colored PPF is in its early stages, so I don't think it's any good.
So you're saying it's an advancement of vinyl,
Yeah.
not an advancement of PPF.
No.
Got it.
And I think in the next 2-3 years, I think colored PPF is gonna be sick.
It's gotten way better though, bro.
That's what I'm saying. Every year, every 6 months, it innovates and it becomes better.
All right, so
Um,
vinyl, color change vinyl is. I don't think vinyl is a great product. I don't think it looks very good.
I
When
never
I
have
see
either.
colored PPF, I go, "Damn, that it looks like paint. Like you finally have
Better
a
than
product." And now we just need the big boys to turn out good quality colored PPF. Like, is that coming? And like, that's to me what if you want color change, and you don't want it to look like a vinyl, artificial vinyl color change. That's where colored PPF comes in, and that's why colored PPF. All right, so is it something like you charge differently for it? Even you were saying you don't like colored PPF. Talk about that.
So, I mean, I don't like it because it's way more work. Like, I'm lazy, bro. Straight up. Like, I want to do A-tier work and make hella bank.
And do it in a day.
And do it in a day. Yeah, like, I want to do a full car in 3 days and, like, get it out. Like, get the shit out of here. I need to do another one.
I'll see you
okay?
in 2 weeks.
But if you're doing color change, PPF, you have that car for a week.
Minimum.
Minimum.
By the way, a week in Eman's time is 2 weeks in a C tier installer's time.
And it's crazy. Like, you're going to spend a week worth of work. You have to take the car apart. Like, there's people finding out ways to, like, they're innovating, right? They're making it where, like, you don't have to take the car apart. But, like, right now with, like, the films that we have, low-tack films, you put a little bit of heat on it, it fucking curls back this way.
Yep.
You have to take the cars apart. You probably have to use promoter.
Which then can damage the paint underneath it. So, like, what's the point of PPF at that point? Go back to vinyl.
So, in my opinion, it's you're doing PPF, but you're doing 40% more work. But are you charging 40% more?
Well, not even that. The material is 40 to 50% more expensive.
Yeah, so like, in my opinion, like, yes, it's going to be great down the road. I think it's probably going to be great innovation. But like right now where it's at, like, you guys can keep doing it, Chicago Pros. I'll send you guys all my clients. Like, I don't want to do any of the color change PPFs. Like, I was doing an A12 Superfast today.
Yep.
Where I was doing black PPF on the front grille, rockers, all that stuff. But
Accent
like,
pieces.
yeah, the accent pieces.
Right.
Pain in the ass.
Yeah. Spent like 6 hours on it.
Yeah.
He can do a full front in 4. It took him 6 hours to do the accent.
Is that something? So you know Ryan, he does our color change PPF. Do you think that's normal for a vinyl? Because if it tracks and you think it's more of an updated vinyl versus an updated PPF, like, does that make sense to you that our vinyl guy is doing color change PPF, or would you be pushing PPF installers? I know you hate it, but if you had to choose one to do it, who do you think fits that role better?
What was it, dry or wet apply, right?
Well, then we go into, like, is
Yeah.
it wet or is it dry apply? But, like, it really goes down the road of, like, the vinyl installer. Because the vinyl installers are used to taking cars apart.
Yeah.
They're used to, like, when you're doing color change PPF, there's a lot of inlays you have to do.
Yeah.
Like,
true.
who knows how to do inlays?
Most PPF people don't.
Vinyl
I
guys.
don't think so. Yeah.
PPF guys, they don't have to do that.
Yeah.
Because, like, you can leave a section of a front
Uncovered.
bumper uncovered because it looks just like the paint.
Yeah.
Right? But if you leave that section uncovered with colored, now you got to do an inlay.
That's a good
So now
point.
you have to do more work. So, like, me being a prima donna, PPF, like, I don't want to do extra work. I'm trying to do it in a full car in 3 days. Get this shit out of here. I don't want to see it anymore, you know? Not with color change.
Yeah, no, I think everything's spot on. The material has gotten a lot better. I remember doing color PPF in like 2019, maybe even 2020, and like doing the dumb one-piece Model 3 hatch and then stretching it and all the color just disappearing along the way.
Yeah, that big stretch.
Yeah, and then you find out that the color is actually in the glue, and I go, well, this is fucking pointless. I don't want this. So like now the color's in the TPU, right? So that's a little better. But I would be willing to bet, and I don't know, so this isn't like I talked to the factory and they told me, but I'd be willing to bet because the dye and the glue is so much more expensive on colored film, they have to use a lower quality TPU to install it, right? Because going back to your big player question thing, or your big player comment question, Greg, there is a big player that does a full swatch book of colored PPF. It's 3M. It starts at $2,900 a roll and goes up to $3,800 a roll. So if they're basing that off of the traditional margins they do for PPF, let's say they're buying a roll of PPF for whatever and they sell it for like $1,300-$1,400. Well, if the retail price for that film is $4,000, then they're manufacturing it for $2,000. So if they have to keep that same quality standard in TPU and stuff like that, I imagine it's just insanely expensive for these big players to get into it, which makes me feel like the people who are into it right now are using a lower quality TPU and just maybe materials across the board, lower quality glues, right?
So if the film costs $4,000, and like in my opinion, when you're pricing out PPF, you should do 5 times.
Right.
Like if you're a good shop, you
S
should
tier, yeah.
Yeah, like you should be charging 5x your material cost.
Right.
So like if it's $4,000, that job should be $20,000.
Yeah.
Who's gonna pay $20,000?
Yeah, dude, even go lower. Go stack Dino Shield or Dino Color stuff. It's 22 to 23 a roll consistently.
Okay, so 2,300 times 5,
Yeah, 11.
$11,000.
Yeah.
Like if you, but like
But you can do 2 full bodies at 9 and clear.
I can make 18.
Yeah, and like actually make 18. You know what I mean?
But I also remember when we had that realization of, hey, let's just bang out a ton of full front clips a week rather than a couple full cars.
Yeah, do the paint enhancement instead of the paint correction. You guys, I remember seeing you guys doing that in like 2018,
I
2019.
hate doing full cars.
Yeah.
It's a waste of time.
Full
Yeah.
France is nice.
You make more
You
money
won't.
on front clips all day.
Right.
But that, like, I don't know where this demand of full cars have come from. Because, like, the past year, it's just all full
Have you
cars.
noticed that too?
Yeah, there's a giant demand. You know what it is? People just want to waste money.
That's probably part of it too. One, and paint's gotten worse, right? So like you kind of, this is kind of why I think you have to get into
It's
PPF.
protective bubble around the car. I understand the impulse, and if money's not your problem, then yeah, you want full car PPF. I have a car that's done in full car PPF because that's the one my wife drives.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean even we got
What are
2
you trying
half
to
cars
say?
done in full PPF.
All my cars have PPF.
Yeah, well your Audi has like 6 layers of PPF.
My Audi had 3 layers of PPF at once.
Yeah, it was like clear, matte, clear, black on the roof, and then like what was it, gloss black on the trunk or something?
Is it running?
Yeah.
Good.
I think's fun, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were in it yesterday. I think's fun.
I've never ridden in it.
Really? You should. It goes.
I rode in your Acura.
Wagons rock.
Yeah.
But you know what? Like, it just comes down to pricing. Like, for me, like, colored PPF's just not in my price range, honestly.
Well, we've always just priced it again. You know, what's it take to do it right? And it's not. It's nice to, you know, we used to look at our peers when we first set pricing. You know, what's the market, quote unquote, the market. And now we're like, you know what? And this was a long time ago. We realized that, like, we're not going to worry about the market. We're going to set it what it takes to do it right. We're going to do it our way. And I think that served us well. And it gets us out of whack a little bit. But it, just like you're talking about with AJ with full front clips, we'd rather do full front clips. The guys know what they're doing. They crank them out. You give them a full car. They get stuck on it. I can see them doing it because they're doing the full car. And I see the piece they leave for last. The piece they leave for last is the part that they don't want to do, that looks the hardest, and they put it off. And before they start, they go smoke a cigarette, or, you know, it slows everything down. And when we get behind, we never get behind schedule because we're doing a bunch of full front clips. If we get behind schedule, it's because
doing
there
a
was a full car
48.
yeah, and
stuff.
then the guys just got messed up on it. And couldn't figure it out. It took longer than they thought, and now it messed up the whole schedule.
It's just so much to track. There's probably, I'm going to overstate it, I think, so you bring it down if you need to. But if you're doing a full clip on a car you've never done, there's probably 200 things you have to keep track of from the time the car comes in till the time it's turned out. It's probably like 200 things, right? lift lines here, tech marks, right, contamination, close, this and that. Dude, you do a full body, it's 5 times that. What human brain can manage 1,000 things at once? You're just way more prone to make mistakes. It's awesome revenue. I remember my first 12 grand job and just being elated. I remember having to do it. And then my dumbass booked another one at the end of that week and then having to do it again. I was like, oh my God, this is terrible, bro. I was like, taught, you know what I mean?
Yeah, our vinyl guy gets that way sometimes, where he's just full car after full car. They're such challenging projects. It takes so long. You can see him get frustrated sometimes.
Well, it's the universal human condition, you know? Everybody likes to shake things up. I think it's why I like doing a couple different things I'm doing at once. I think it's probably why you like it too. You don't get bored.
Shout out Ryan. He's actually
He's an insane installer.
insane installer.
I literally feel grateful that we've had him for so long, because he's good and we take care of him, and it's nice. You can count on him. He's good to have around.
Keep taking care of them. You know, keep taking care of
Let's look to the future. What else do you guys see out there? I want to. What's the future for you guys? You know, you're Eman, you're especially, because I've known you for so long. You're on this trajectory, and I've seen you in the direction you can go, and you're capable of a lot of things, more so than anyone else I've ever worked with in the industry. So, like, where are you going? Hey, Zeus, I think you're on this amazing track as well, where you've always been the kind of guy who can just make stuff happen. And that's a rare guy who you can just give him a blank slate and go, hey, just figure this out. So both of you have this unique skill. Tell me about where you see yourselves in the next couple of years.
It's tricky because you can go down any road you want. Well, at least for me speaking, like I have like a vast amount of opportunities. Like I can pick any door I want to go down there. But like I think for me personally, like I'll probably be challenging Chicago Auto Pros as the #1 shop in Chicago for probably within 2 years.
I can see that.
Motherfucker.
I'm sorry, but it's probably gonna happen. But like, I'll stay away. I'll stay in my area. You guys stay in your area.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, but like,
if you are out there doing awesome work, I think it just raises the game. Like, it's better for everyone. Look at the restaurant industry in Chicago. They don't care if another restaurant opens up. They go, you bring it, man.
Yeah,
we're an awesome restaurant.
No, and I completely agree with you. Like, it'll go back to what we did when we first started, where it was me and Rob and Andrew going against each other. So now I'll go up against the Chicago Auto Pros, and we'll continuously do this, and then we'll leave everybody behind.
Yep.
Yeah, I'd rather it be you than anybody else.
That's my attitude with it.
But
I think the best thing is the relationship.
Here's the opposite, and I've seen this. I've seen it in car washing, and I've seen it with detailing. If you are a schlocky car wash or schlocky detail shop, low quality, poor service, someone gets their car detailed or washed at a lousy car wash or lousy detail shop, and they don't get any value out of it. They go, that was not a good experience. And so now you've just lost that customer completely. So that guy's like, I'm never going to get my car detailed again because there was no value in it. And so if someone gets PPF in their car and they get a lousy job done, they go, it's not worth it. It looked, I want to be able to see my car, and it took away from that visually. So the opposite is actually worse for the industry. So no, I applaud you getting out there, Eman.
Yeah, so we'll go down that road, but then I've also transformed myself into the #1, I'm gonna say it, I'm the #1 PPF trainer in the country.
Yeah. It only took me saying it for 3 years for you to finally fucking say it.
That's who I've become, and I can proudly say that because I believe it. But along with the building my own company, there will be a training program that goes along with it, because one of the biggest struggles I see for shops is hey, you can build a shop, but then you can't build the people. But I think one of the greatest skills that I have is I can build the people, and then I can build a shop too, right? So that's the road we'll go down. And then once I'm established, then I'll go start my my golf career. I'll go play in
PGA.
Yeah, I'll go play. I'll fuck off for 3 years. I'll make enough money where I can literally just go play for 3 years straight, and then I'll be happy. And then once I'm bored, once I don't make it, then I'll just come back.
What if you do make it?
Who knows? We only got one life.
If there's anybody I'm willing to bet on, it's you.
It just goes back to that. I just need to be the best at whatever I do, and it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But that's the road I'm headed down.
I could see that.
That's awesome.
That's awesome, man.
Hey Zeus, what about you?
Man, I think I'm gonna build an insane consulting company for service-based businesses, just in general. restaurants, barbershops, groomers, car care, all that kind of stuff. Now to fund it, to feed it, it's Prolific Training Academy and it's Prolific Paint Protection. I am looking at starting a little bit of a, hands-on service shop too. Not in Chicago, so I won't be competing with you guys. But probably somewhere down there in Tennessee, man. There's a lot of shops in the East Tennessee area I've met. We've been to a bunch of them that do like solid work. You know what I mean? But there's not anything boutique anywhere I found within a couple 100 miles of where I'm at. And I think I like the idea of going down the boutique route and continuing doing the training. The training academy has been awesome. Honestly, I'm not going to say I can't believe how busy it is and how the kind of response I've gotten to it, because I've spent thousands of hours, I think, at this point, putting goodwill into people and like investing into, detailers and PPF installers and just helping them out without really expecting anything in return. And now those same businesses are looking for help with stuff or need someone in-house for a day or two to just kind of clean things up, the consulting thing, right? They're like, dude, can you come help me figure out why my PPF installer takes 4 days to do a full front? Sure, here's the price, here's when I can come out, here's the deposit, and then it's all taken care of. So the training academy has been something that I've always wanted to do. I think at some point it helps set a standard in film. It's actually the genesis of this thing, right? It was like I was having an installer I had trained that I had been trained by both of us once, and then I went out and did a private thing with them. And they were sending me photos of his install and just like losing their mind. And I was like, what did you promise the customer? Like, like, where are you at with it? Cause like in my head, I'm like, it's probably a B tier install. You know what I mean? He's like, what does that mean? And I was like, oh, we need to put a visual to this. Like we need to set some guides to it. Cause nobody really has, cause the standard has been Eman. You know what I mean? And like that standard, you make me feel insanely inferior as a film installer, bro. But like, you kind of do that to everybody. You know what I mean? So it's like,
Yeah, why do you do that?
No, he doesn't though. That's the thing. Like,
I want to bring as many people with me to the top.
Yeah. And it's always in a helpful way. I will give you an insane amount of credit. I think going back to the people building thing, I think you're a fantastic leader and people developer, and you care. You know what I mean? I think that's always shown through, even from the first time I met you. And you're really good about calling people out when they need to be called out. And it's never, malicious. It's never like angry. You know what I mean? It's always like, hey man, this ain't it. You got to do better. And I know you can do better. And here's how you do better. That is very rare, I think, among our industry specifically. A lot of PPF installers are divas and prima donnas, like you said, Greg. Don't know why. They just kind of all are. Even the ones that aren't a lot of divas, you're a little bit of a diva. You know what I mean? Just kind of how it is, right? But yeah, I think the 10-year, 15-year down the road thing is probably, I think that if the consulting thing turns into what I think it is, right? The soft skills, the approaches that we take into like walking into your waiting area and having Fiji water and coffee. Why can't I walk into my dog groomers and do that? You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to wait there for an hour. Why has it taken me a collective 6 hours to find a freaking barber in Knoxville, Tennessee? Why is there walk-ins on everything, right? It's like, hey, for like X amount a month and part of your growth, I'm going to come in and just do all this for you. And you just cut hair. You know what I mean? And I'll figure out the other side of it. I want this portion of the equity, I want this portion of the growth, and I want a small monthly retainer. I can do that with 50 different businesses, I think. You know what I mean? Like over X amount of time. So I think that to me, I think is really where I see it going. Because the soft skills translate. And I think, even conversations me and Eman have had, other people have had, I think the ceiling for detailing and what people in this industry are capable of and earning potential, it's not uncapped, but it's not what it is for a construction company, a commercial contractor. You know what I mean? Like, I think, especially, I've kind of become friends with some marketing agencies. I've seen a couple of them pivot out of like fully automotive, and it's not coding marketing company anymore. Now it's marketing company who specializes in the service-based industry, and they have contractors, painters, plumbers, and a couple car care shops still. I think that's where people are still missing, is like the stuff that the detailers don't know that you guys have known that's created a powerhouse also exists in every other service-based industry. And I don't see, because I'm looking, like I follow a ton of barbers. I follow a bunch of dog groomers now. I talk to them. Like I've been to a couple conventions. And like the ones that are doing really well are the ones that have Fiji water in the front office and a booking link and an assistant that they pay $15 an hour to just text everybody back. It's like, why can't we implement that in every shop? You know what I
Sounds
mean?
familiar, AJ.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, you guys probably
The
did
assistant
it.
that texts back.
Yeah.
Yeah, that just came up recently.
Yeah. Dude, VAs, freaking awesome. I don't want them to answer phone calls, but you know what? You can
Yeah.
text everybody back for me. We talked forever about me logging into your Instagram for the longest time just so I could respond to all the leads you were getting, because you would get an insane amount of leads. And, like, look, most of them are time wasters. I don't mind talking to 100 people a day. It's very normal to me. I think you would jump off a roof if you had to do that every day. You know? But yeah, that's I think where my trajectory is. I really feel confident in that.
I'm thrilled that you guys came to talk. I was pretty excited. If you guys were going to do a podcast, I was pretty excited to see both of you and hear kind of where you're at and what's next for you, because I think you both have bright futures.
Appreciate that, man. And I honestly, I owe it to you guys a lot. I owe a lot of where I'm at today. Talk about this word a lot, but I took what I thought was a pretty big gamble coming over here and not having anything secure and like, you know, pretty quickly figuring out kind of the landscape of how everything was once we kind of got settled in, right? And like, I was like, I'm just going to put my head down and try my absolute best to build something out of this. Just in case there's a small chance that someone loses their shit and boots me out of the building, I need to have something established, and I need to have a network, and I need to make sure people are taken care of. And this is the best chance I'm going to have at growing in this industry at this time period. You know what I mean? So I owe a lot to you guys, man. Seriously. Like, I thank you guys a lot for the mentorship from pretty much every one of you. I know we haven't met a whole lot, AJ, but you set a good standard for sales. So, you know what I mean? Definitely have to follow up with that. You know, try to fill in those shoes.
I mean, like with the little interaction that we've had, like I think you're just on the right track. You know, it's that tenacity. And I think that's why, like, I won't lie, Eman, when you were at the Glenview location, things were just so easy because we just fed off each other and we could just figure things out. Right. I would give you an impossible scenario and you would figure it out. You were my guy and I was your guy to get stuff in. And that tenacity, from everything that I've heard from you, Jesus, or about you, Jesus, is you have that in you as well, right? And that's the one thing that I would say is you can't get rid of that. Complacency kills. And like, I think that term, like, I don't know where I learned that term. It was probably my time in the Marine Corps, but complacency kills, right? Not to get too drastic on it, but it really is the killer of anything, you know, metaphorically and literally.
Especially in the military, it's a literal thing. If you're not paying attention, like, you are in danger.
It's as long as you keep that tenacity, and it sounds like you're still passionate about it, because you hear it all the time where people turn their passions into businesses.
Mhm.
Now it's not their passion anymore.
Yeah.
Like, the biggest difference is that this is still our passion. Like,
Yeah.
we're working, doing what we love doing,
Yeah.
and we're all happy for it. Like, people are envious of what we're doing.
Yeah. I mean, dude, again, you guys up in my mind. I remember seeing that $10,000 detail video. I was like, this is crazy. Like,
Yeah, I'm not trying to boost your ego or anything, but I think you're doing great, dude.
Thanks, man. Appreciate that. I'm trying.
You can boost my ego. I love it.
Yeah, I know.
I don't think that needs to be done, guys.
Everyone
No,
boost
he
E-Man's
shits
ego
his
in the
ego all
comment
time,
section.
man. You're like the most cocky person I've met. It's like such a balance, bro. You know what I mean? Yeah. E-Man is unique. If you ever get a chance to see him and he's in the mood to talk, you're going to get an interesting conversation experience. He's probably going to make fun of you, though. Just be ready.
You guys go to trade shows? You looking forward to SEMA or Mobile Tech Expo, or are you over that? Like,
I like mobile tech a lot. I don't know if you're into...
I like doing shows every 2 years. I'll do one, then I'll skip one, because like, what's gonna change in 1 year? Nothing.
Yeah.
2 years is my thing.
You'll be at SEMA
So,
next year.
I'll skip the SEMA. Actually, I might not.
And that's this
I
year?
might.
No, yeah, because you went
Next
last
year.
year.
Next year?
Yeah.
Okay, next year we'll
for the
be.
project.
NDAs.
Yeah, we'll be at SEMA.
NDAs.
NDAs. But yeah, I mean, every trade show is really dope, actually.
Yeah, I like the people, man. I mean, going back to what AJ was saying about being passionate, like my passion is obviously in car care, but my passion and I think if you want to figure out who you are, you meditate on a singular word that defines you. And when I did that, you know, going back, I think it was like 2020 or something, it was caretaker. I like nurturing things. I like plants. I like being a dad. You know what I mean? I like seeing people grow. So like everything I'm doing and everything I'm involved in at its core is involved in being a caretaker and kind of, you know, developing myself and people. And, you know, I got some awesome tight constellations. I've heard they were super hard plants to take care of. I got fucking 4 new leaves on 2 plants. Like, I think I'm just doing it, you know?
That's really
Yeah,
nice. Wow.
it's just, Greg, you've kind of facilitated this culture of building this passion and everybody driving on that passion. Like, I can't tell you how happy I was the day you said, okay, AJ, you're the trainer for the sales guys now. Like, oh, great. I love it. That's what I love doing. And maybe it's because I'm a control freak, like deep inside, and I just want to make sure things are done right. But like, Eman, you were there from when I first started to who I started with, and you kind of saw how that department, or at least the front desk, changed with me coming in. There was a lot more structure to it. Like, we need to do things the right way. And that might just be because I'm a little bit of a control freak, but it's that tenacity of making sure things are in the right spot that really helped me progress.
And we're lucky that we're everyone here. If you're not passionate, you don't work out. People
but
don't like
that's not
it.
luck. That's intentional. That is culture. That is something you guys all settle. That ain't luck at all. Your luck
It's
is
so
that you guys
funny
were in
how we
Chicago,
can
man.
tell when
That's
somebody's
your
going to
luck.
last or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
We used to all have like idioms. I remember Eman used to always say like, oh, he doesn't like, you see the way he like puts the wash mitt back in the bucket, like he's not going to last.
Oh.
Yeah. It's like little stuff like that. We had the one guy that stared at trains in Glenview. Yeah, he didn't last.
You see a guy doing a wheel and he pulls up a stool to do the wheel. You're like, no.
Yeah. So, where is Chicago Auto Pros headed?
Gonna open a new location right next to your house.
Yeah, we're gonna find out where you want to put up a location. We'll put up one nearby just so that we'll keep an eye on you.
I heard he was going to Bolingbrook.
No, we want to do some smaller, some smaller scale shops.
Yeah.
Like more boutique. So if you want, all the services, you got to go to one of our flagship shops. But just to do tint, PPF, coatings, and a smaller footprint, we're trying to make new jobs for the great guys that we have on staff.
Right.
So if you want to be, a one-man show, take a sales guy.
Mm-hmm.
Let's broaden your role. You're not just a sales guy now, but you're, sort of the shop manager, shop foreman.
General manager. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, cool. We're going to give you a shop, and maybe I'm going to make an incentive program for the profitability of that shop.
Yep.
But now you've got a guy who's reaching for something, and he wants to achieve something, and so now he's got his own shop.
That's smart.
And he brings with him the best PPF installer we got here, and he brings with him the best tinter that we've got here. And so now you got a couple of guys that are awesome that are now working on their own. And again, they can have a different pay structure. They can take a lot of pride in being a great, small, cohesive team. I think that'll be good because it'll bring people closer. As much as I like to think that if you're in Chicago and you want great stuff, that you're going to come to us. Some people don't want to drive to Lombard, depending on where they live, or Glenview. So let's bring the shops closer to, where the customers are. So I think there's plenty of room in Chicago to have a couple of satellite locations. And I love how it grows the team, and I love how it's better for the customer.
Is there any new ventures or anything you guys are talking about yet?
What's that?
Is there any new ventures or anything you guys are talking about? New services, new
Boats.
boats?
We're starting to we want to get into doing more boat PPF. I think that's a growth area in the PPF industry.
Yep. Shout out Marine Armor.
Shout out Bows.
We want to do car storage. I think AJ, we saw a great place that did it in Houston.
Yep.
What's the name of it? Anyone know?
I don't remember the name, but I know it's only 30 minutes away from my house.
They got to
It was
see that
a
one in
huge
Nashville.
warehouse, a big car storage, and they had several tiers of service.
You know what I'm talking about?
It's on my list in the 10-year mark.
Yeah, Big Daddy Swank over there with his
What,
shop
car storage?
Yeah, I would love to have car storage.
with
Yeah,
the
at first
whiskey
it's
bar,
like,
cigar
just
lounge.
leaving cars around. But with like used store at places, where you rent a little storage bay, those things are crazy because you fill them up once and they never empty out. Like, it's not like an apartment where people are coming and going. Once people put stuff in storage, they leave it there. And I think a car guy who doesn't have a money problem and he realizes that, whoa, I can leave one of my cars in storage, and then I got room in my house for another car. That's awesome.
I can hide this one from my wife.
Yeah, right. And then you can have higher levels of service where, do you want pickup and deliver? You want to be coming and going. And we saw that in Houston. I saw dudes that were they drop off their X5 and pick up their 911 for the weekend. And then on Monday, they're dropping the 911 off and they're back in the X5 for the, the weekly commute, whatever it might be, and have detailing services there. And even basic mechanic services or whatever it is you want to offer to those, or whatever those clients, I shouldn't say what you want to offer the clients, but what the clients demand or what they need, you can offer to them. I think that's going to be a pretty cool business. So we're going to start to dip our toe in that water. And if that works out, we'll push bigger, because, once you get people in there now, if you got demand for it, rent a place, it'll pay for itself.
That makes sense. Yeah, isn't there a whole community down like Joliet? That's basically that, like big car garages and houses.
There's the motor iron
condo.
Kingdom or
It's the
something?
guy
Yeah,
buying
Iron
a
Gates.
condo, and he builds out like a little man cave.
That's
Iron
like
Gate.
the ultimate level.
Yeah.
You can do car storage here.
Oh,
Yeah,
we are.
definitely.
You
We
can
got,
get
we got 5 already.
Yeah.
5 lifts.
No, 5 cars
Oh,
for
well,
storage.
Speaking of which, not to bring work into this, but update on these signatures, J-Law. I need to order this lift.
Yeah, I can't get DocuSign to work, so they need to come in physically.
Yeah.
And also, I need a Stripe. I need a recurring subscription
Stripe.
link.
do you want the
That's-
hookup on lifts?
You got lifts?
Mm-hmm.
If you've got a lift hookup, yeah, send it over to me.
On the plug.
As far as Stripe goes, we could set it up in your Able, but it'll go through Square. But we don't use Stripe.
That's what I was talking about when I was telling you about the training website thing. It goes through Stripe. Yeah. Smart.
Well,
Follow eman.audi.ttrs training. What is your Instagram now?
eman.t.trs.
Okay. I need
Yeah.
Fuego sauce back, bro.
I mean, I got places to be, but I think we covered like a lot, which is awesome. And like, I'm happy that we did this, and I'm happy to see AJ,
Yeah.
Greg, and Jason. Like,
Thank you guys for
that's
coming.
Sick.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you, man.
Dude, it was out of nowhere. Me and Greg were in a meeting, and he's like, Jesus just texted me.
Yeah. Well,
And
we
now
were
we're
watching
here.
the video, and then we started going through the YouTube channel. He's like, "You should go on that." I was like, in my head, I'm like, "Is it gonna bug them?" I was like, "Nah, I'm a fucking chatterbox. Like, this should be fun." You know what I mean? Shot him a text. I got a text from you. I was like, "Okay, fuck it, we're doing it." It's easy.
I didn't know that's where it came from. I thought some of you guys could plan this, and I heard about it, and I'm like, yeah, I want in on that.
Yeah, no, I'm a dude. I like talking. I like watching podcasts. I like doing podcasts. Like, there's just not a lot of good ones in the industry.
I still have you guys made a podcast. It's in that server. And that server actually fell off the wall. And now
Is that why it's over there?
Yeah, you can see where it fell. Dude, it almost killed Gary when it fell.
Dude, that podcast
Speaking of
is
which,
such a mess. That was so
You
funny.
probably don't have to put this in here, but has Eman seen the rat beef yet?
The rat
Oh,
beef?
no. I will show you guys that after this podcast.
Hell yeah.
Rob
He'll
did a
love it. He'll
freestyle
love it.
against,
Carson?
no, the companies that you guys worked for. We'll just say that. But it's pretty funny. We just never really, we were pretty close to just saying, screw it, let's release it.
Yeah, the fucker's been taking shots at you guys
It
for
was
2
at
years.
the height of like the Kendrick Drake.
Oh, that makes so much more
Yeah,
sense
so
now.
we got to do this.
That makes so much more sense now. So the thumbnail has to be you wearing that.
Yeah.
It's got to be that. I need the cowboy hat.
I'll get a picture. All right, but yeah, thank you guys for coming.
Yep.
I'm hungry. It's getting hot in here.
Mm-hmm. I heard there's a good sushi spot down the street.
Sure. All right.
Later, boys.
Want to say your company's one last time?
Yeah, so my company is Advanced Protective Solutions, and then you follow me on Instagram at eman.t.trs, and then Facebook is just Eman Torres.
A lot of detailers that watch our YouTube videos probably still know you guys.
I would think you have a huge following.
I
bro.
literally had someone message me yesterday, and they're like, "Hey, are you still at Chicago Auto Bros?"
Mhm.
And he works at Topaz in the UK.
Dude, that's crazy.
Topaz.
Topaz is they
Damn,
are very
really?
much so your guys' model
Yeah.
up there.
Yeah, one
Yeah.
of our videos was "Where's Eman?" And it was one of the comments.
Yeah, there was
It
a
was on the
comment.
Dakar video. He's
It
like,
was-
great
yeah,
video,
the
but where's
Dakar
Eman?
Great, 3 years later.
Literally, people stopped asking about the other owner, and
Yeah.
we still get comments about Eman, like more
yeah,
than
yeah.
that
That's
guy.
awesome.
Unlikable.
The market speaks, man. But yeah, for me, Prolific Training Academy and Solo the Great on all major social media platforms and YouTube.
Cool.
Easy.
Jason Lau, jlau.capmedia. I work for Chicago Water Press.
Fire.
All right, that's
Greg's
it.
on
Thank you,
Instagram now
guys.
too, right?
Sweet. Thank you. Love y'all.
Bye bye.
Later, y'all.
Later, boys.
See you.
That was fun.